Hi everyone, this is Kim with Abundant Life Tarot, and it is that time again. We are doing favorites, and we are looking at March. And you know how I do. I love to talk about all these different things, so I hope that you are nice and comfy, settled in. You have something cool or warm to drink, depending on what you need in the moment. And let's get right to it, because we've got lots to discuss. Okay, so March always is one of my favorite months of the year for a variety of reasons. It is my little sister's birthday. It is Northwest Tarot Symposium happening, and that definitely was a big part of my March. We definitely had some challenges, right, with the pandemic going on, but I don't really want to talk about that tonight. I want to talk about what I loved. So Northwest Tarot Symposium is definitely something that I loved. And some of the things that I'm talking about in my favorites videos are things that I got while I was there. Let's see. I'm going to just go off the list to stay on track. First up, I always like to start off with some shout outs. And the first shout out I want to do and mention is my dear friend Christy. And she is from Optimal Wellness Yoga. And what I love about her is that she is so humble, kind, giving, and just giving of her spirit. And she just recently started putting out some YouTube videos. She actually does a lot of distance healing. I myself was considering doing a distance healing with her, just me, for me, Kim. And so she's amazing. And I will put a link in the description box for her video that what she put out here, I just want to make sure that I get it right, is that she has an amazing heart centering ritual and tapping experience that she discusses in the video link that I'm putting in the description box. And she is a shamanic healer, and she also is a Reiki practitioner. So that's what is drawing me to her, because of my past Reiki experiences. I had some profound experience with Reiki. And so she's just really a great resource for my Abundant Life Tarot community. And I'm so happy to be giving her a shout out, because she's just amazing. What a blessing she is to the Abundant Life Tarot family. So thank you, Christy, for creating an amazing video that I am going to definitely be watching, because for me, I deal with anxiety on the regular. That's just been something that's been a part of my journey, and I manage it. And sometimes I do really well managing it, and sometimes I don't. And then in times where there's like this heightened sense of stress, anxiety, and worry, just at the global level, at the universal level in terms of people, it could be a bit much for me. So I'm always seeking out tools, natural tools, especially things that come from within, to help me on my journey. And so that's why I got excited when she mentioned it in my Facebook group, or I like to say our Facebook group, my Abundant Life Tarot Facebook group. She talked about doing this heart-centering practice or ritual with the people in her community, and how helpful it was to them. And so she did a video. I was thrilled to mention it in my favorites. And so, hey, I'm going to definitely be constantly being a view on this video. And then the other shout out I wanted to talk about is Shamanic Arawak Priestess. I've mentioned her channel before, but it's worth mentioning again. Like, oh my goodness, she's been amazing. She's been constantly putting out content. For myself, it's been ebb and flow. Sometimes I feel like putting out content, sometimes I don't. We're all kind of trying to figure out our new rhythm, our new normal in this time. But she's been a constant. She's been a constant in my YouTube, when you have your subscriptions and all your, what do they call it? I forgot. Anyways, showing what you've got in your subscription pool of videos to watch. I don't know. I got all sorts of stuff on the brain. But anyways, she just recently put out her March faves. She's got all sorts of great information on traditional African religions and native spirituality. Like, I just think that she's just a phenomenal teacher when it comes to that. That practice in the rituals. And she also provides, if you're into that, if you're into maybe spell work or the traditional African rituals, if you're into it, she's great because she provides great information about how to get the tools about you easy at the store down the street. Like, she's really down to earth. I love her personality. She reminds me of the people that I grew up with in Oakland, California. And I just really enjoy her vibe. And she also had on her recent uploads a video on one of her clients from hell and talking about that experience. And it was like, wow, it was like, oh, that was something that I had once experienced myself. And so just watching her these past few videos has just been soul nurturing for me. So I have to thank both of my shout out folks for bringing some normalcy and some happiness and some peace to my life. All right. So now we're moving on to random goodies. Random goodies. While I was at the symposium, the Northwest Tarot Symposium, which I hope to see many of you all, because in 2021, I hope to see you, because if you're watching this video, chances are you really love tarot. And it was just like last year. It was a great experience. I'm going to do it again, Gonna do it again next year. What I got there was this little singing frog. Have you guys seen these before? I hadn't seen these before. Look at this. So good to my soul. Apparently, I like sonic thing. I like sonic healing, like what do they call it? So I like to hear sounds and I respond well to it. And this is just amazing. Unlike my little dog who's mad that he can't be in here, who's making all sorts of noises, just kind of masks it. Anyways, picked this up at the Northwest Tarot Symposium from a vendor there. Lovely lady. And I will definitely try to see if I can figure out. I think I paid cash for it. How I was kind of keeping track of my purchases while I was there was using my card and the sellers were using Squarespace, which tracked the sellers and their information, which is actually really smart. And then I could click on their websites later if I want to go and look at more stuff to sell. But I think she was having issues with her card reader or something. So I paid cash. And I'm going to have to search through the business cards that I collected while I was at the symposium to see if I can find it. But this is so amazing. This lady there, or another, like a customer, we were kind of just looking through I was looking at scarves. I wanted to get back into wearing scarves again. And I was looking at scarves, and the lady was looking at a big frog. The sound was just it was just bouncing through just reverberating through my body. And the frog, the bigger frog, the sound obviously was bigger and fuller, but I didn't want to spend, this was actually a really great price. I want to say it was like $12, and there's no sales tax in in Oregon, the state of Oregon. So I was like, oh yeah. So it was like $12.50. I'm like, US, $12.50 US. I have to remember to do that. And so it's really inexpensive. And my husband and daughter love it. They love it. They love this thing so much. My husband does this for his orchids. He's actually, he doesn't want to say that he's a hobbyist in terms of like his orchid collection, but he collects orchids and he babies them and takes care of them. And he is convinced that like singing to them, talking to them, providing little sounds like that makes them grow. And he's so convinced because one of his babies, his favorite orchids, actually had little blooms, and they all, like, it was like 6 of them, like 6 blooms, like so pretty. Orchids, I never have any luck with them. So he's convinced. And then I think Ella named this guy Alan? I don't know. Starts with an A, I think. Anyway, she plays with it all the time. So yeah, random goodie. I know it's not really tarot related, but it makes my heart sing nevertheless. So there you go. Next up, let's see, what else did I have from random goodies? Ooh, let's talk about these other random goodies. So now, hold on, let me get a sip. Again, Tarot Symposium. Now, you know, I'm in a depth year going to a Tarot Symposium where there is a marketplace where there's tons of decks being sold. Old, new, collector, you know, mass market. Schiffer was there. That was cool. Schiffer was there. They had authors that were, and creators, deck creators that were there as well, obviously. But it was so... again, it's just like such a great vibe, and I just love being around people who love cards like I do. So and they feel good people, right? I mean, we are in a service-oriented industry with tarot reading. You know, whether you want to believe it or not, it's a service. And there's a certain type of person who is service-oriented. Sorry, I'm trying not to hit the microphone. There's a certain kind of person that's service-oriented, and that would be tarot readers. And so I always get along with people who have to, you know, be of service to others. So that's just my little spiel. You're going to hear lots of spiels of me trying to push folks to go to the symposium next year because I want to see more of you there. That's going to be fun. I want to have so much fun. I think I'm going to go... I did go a day earlier, but I think I'm going to even go like maybe one more day earlier, or at least go at like, the symposium starts officially on Friday, but I want to get out to Oregon probably maybe Thursday morning, Wednesday night. We'll see. Make that happen. Okay. So another thing that I was gifted was this gorgeous, gorgeous journal. I go through lots of journals, guys. Like, I am either talking about spreads in journals, I'm talking about readings, my own readings that I do for myself, readings I do for clients, business ideas that I've got, creative pursuits that I'm doing. And I've always been into journals ever since I was a little girl. So I'm a sucker for them, and somehow I'm always blessed to receive them. So I'm just happy and thrilled. So Jamie Sawyer, who I purchased this little card altar like holder, like, so it can go on your altar and you have a single card. I'm going to see if she actually has a bigger piece where I could have like a 3-card spread on there. But this is great because I've been only really in the mood for like only 1-card draws, even for weekly readings for myself. And so this has been all I need, and it's super cool. Jamie Sawyer is the creator of the Sawyer's Path Tarot, which I don't own, sadly. I don't know if I can even get my hands on it at this point without it probably costing me an arm and a leg, because I think it's out of print. But she was there in the capacity at the symposium of selling little goods and things to support the tarot reader, and not the deck, which everybody probably keeps asking her about. She's so sweet. I just adore her. Let me see. Jamie Sawyer can be reached, and I'm definitely going to have to... Her website is sacredspacetattoo.com/tarot. I'm going to definitely keep all my little business cards, so I can add those links to the description box, so in case you want to take a gander. But this is so cool, and I actually have been using it quite a bit. I went to the symposium March 5th, March 6th through the 8th. Yeah, and then right after that I went to Kern County, which is like Bakersfield, California, and I live in Sacramento, so I was traveling nonstop in the beginning of March. So it's nice to be a little settled in and homebound when I was like floating all over the West Coast a few weeks ago. But this is so cute. Look at the symbols. It's so adorable. I'm in love. So there's that randomness. Sorry guys, you know I'm long-winded. And the journal is lined. And she had a ribbon. She had a lot of stuff that she didn't want to take back with her. And so she gifted me and my friend Linda journals. And so, Jamie, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to be buying other stuff from you, though. I'm going to make up for this, I assure you. So cool. You can barely see it because of the glare, but it's got the Fool card. It's got the different iterations of the Fool. It looks like this is the Marseille version. And what? Oh, this is cute. Just freaking cute. Okay. Next up, what are we talking about here? Oh, another random. Okay. So, her booth was next to Jenna Diaz's Moonlit Fae booth. I love her little business card too. Actually, I love Jamie's as well. Look at that. So cute. Look at that. That's another favorite. People's cards. Oh my gosh, I was in love with people's freaking business cards at the thing. I was like, oh my gosh, I want that. I want the little, look at that. Look, one of her bags. So this is Jenna Diaz's lovely tarot bag. So I did allow myself for buying, you know, I'm on a, what do you call it? Depth year. But I do allow for cool, gorgeous tarot bags if the need arises. And so the need arose. It did. My Sacred Creators Oracle, which is housed in here, needed a new, smaller home than the box that it was in. I found that I wasn't really using the Sacred Creators because I kept it in the big box, and then I would keep the box on the shelf, and I would never go to that particular shelf. And then, yeah, it was sad. And so we'll talk more about the Sacred Creators in a moment. But look at this. I got a little makeup on it. I'm a little mad, but I think it's washable. This is so cute. Got a little makeup on it, but this goes so nicely with my Sacred Creators, right? So I had a purpose. Now, my husband and I have made a plan. I mean, it actually coincides perfectly with what we're all going through right now with this pandemic. But we're, you know, watching our spending, which is great because I'm in a depth year. So for me, it's been pretty easy to say yes to this year. If it was last year, I'd be like, no, don't you know what decks are coming out? And there's some cool decks coming out that I do want, but they just go on the wish list till I'm ready to buy. Oh my gosh, what was the deck? I was like, oh no, that needs to go on my wish list. Oh, shoot. It's going to tick me off. It's not a, oh, I know what it is. It's Citrine, and I don't have her. Well, she is, the lady is the creator, the deck creator I'm thinking of is the creator of Oracle of Mystical Moments. She is coming out with a tarot deck with US Games. I think I read somewhere it's like summer of 2020. Unfortunately, I will not be able to buy it until 2021. I'm going to actually probably end up doing another depth year or a different version of depth year in 2021. I'm going to give myself, though, a window of time to buy the top, like, 3 or 4 decks that I loved for the whole entire year of 2020. In 2021, there's going to be a window of time, and that is probably going to be definitely one of them. Here's the, you know, I want to show you the backs of the Sacred Creators because then you can see how gorgeous this little bag is for that. God, you can't even see it. Isn't that cool? So they go, okay? Not that I need to justify spending with you all. And it's reversible. So Moonlit Faye has an Etsy shop. I checked it out. I think she's also on, I'm assuming, Instagram. She does have a website. And then I found her today on Etsy. And I found this little reversible bag. This is how I bought it. And then I went on her Etsy. No, I knew it was reversible, but I forgot. And then I went on again today. And I'm like, oh my gosh, why didn't I even think of that? And so the Sacred Creators was in this version, you know, this side. But then when I realized it was reversible after going to her Etsy shop and seeing it reversible, like, oh, that's it. The only problem is I got a little something smudge. Thankfully, I can just rub that out with a little soap and water and it'll be fine. But this, guys, is so cute and so amazing. All right, I told you it's going to be long-winded. March is usually one of my bigger faves videos because of Northwest Tarot Symposium. Let's talk crystals. So this month I was drawn to citrine. Oh, look at that. This is the larger piece of citrine that I have. This was actually kind of pricey too, from what I recall. And I do want a bigger piece at some point. This is the first piece of citrine I purchased a few years back. And it's super little. Let me see if I can. It's really little. It goes. I actually use it in a grid on my main reading table. And actually, my main reading table has turned into one of my 2 office spaces. Both of my reading tables are one of the 2 office spaces that I have while I'm working from home. But the main reading table that you guys know me, where I started my channel at, I've been spending a lot of time in here, I should say, kind of jumping around, because I can close the door and I can have some privacy. But my main love, what I really build up my altar space to accommodate all the things that I love, is in my former dining room, which is turned into one of my reading spaces. And I keep like a little grid of crystals there. And this is always the heart and center of it. And it made sense to me now why I always have to keep citrine in that corner, and why I always am drawn to it. And citrine is definitely, both stones I'm going to talk about, or crystals I'm talking about today, is high vibration stones. And this stone fosters, let me show you this one. This is my favorite. This stone fosters self-esteem. It promotes prosperity and abundance. It's great to keep near you as you are doing business planning and, you know, forecasting for your business. It is something that can transform negative energy into positive energy. And I just love having it on my reading tables. I keep this on my reading table in here because this is where I lately have been doing most of my client readings, or most of my unboxings, or whatever I'm doing. Because I can close the door. There's 2 doors right here to my right that I can just have quiet time, and my family respects it for the most part. But the reading table where I started at when I had a full house, that is not as private. I could have done my unboxing there. I thought about it. I was like, oh, you know, I could have recorded there, but I got lazy. I didn't feel like moving all the, you know, the stuff over into that room. And so maybe next month I'm going to try. I have lots of little spots around my house that I want to like start filming from, because, you know, it's just nice to change it up, and you get to see other parts of me in my home. So this is just this gorgeous piece of citrine, and I just love it. It just is a perfect pick-me-up for, you know, the times that we're in, and it's just, I love it. It really is a high vibing, like I can feel it in my gut. It's great for the solar plexus. It's just amazeballs. So put you back where you belong, and this one's going to go back to its reading table home. The other stone I'm going to talk about is one that I'm wearing. And it's this ring here that I got from the Northwest Tarot Symposium. And this is a Seraphinite. And I love this ring. Apparently, I think he's like the ring creator to all like the tarot readers on this side of the Mason-Dixon, as they say, or something like that. I don't know. Like, there were some of the rings that he had on his table were gorgeous. And next year, I'm going to probably buy some more. I didn't even realize how much I miss wearing rings until I came across that booth. And I was called to this ring, Seraphinite. And then I realized why. I didn't know much about this stone, actually. I don't even have any in my crystal collection. And so I actually had to consult my crystal guidebook to see what this stone is all about. And I actually made some notes here about it. It says it's good for releasing muscle tension in the neck, good for detoxification. It aids in the proliferation of helpful bacteria, which is great. It also deals with infections, which I thought was interesting. And it's, if you are into chakra healing, it is good for third eye, crown, higher crown, and the heart chakra. I think it's because of that green that you see in there. And I put a little note here to remind myself is that I didn't know at the time when I purchased the stone back at like March 7th, March 8th, I think it was March 7th. I think I purchased it. I didn't know at the time that I needed this stone until now. Like, I didn't know that this was something I needed to be wearing all the time. You know, isn't that great how spirit works, how the universe is all connected? I was just like, I want to start wearing rings again. I want to, you know, I love my hands. I've been babying them during this pandemic time, keeping lotion on them and keeping the nails polished and trying to give these old fingers some TLC. And I was like, I want to wear rings again. And I saw this and I was like, oh, what is this stone? And I was having some significant neck pain. I always say I carry the weight of the world on my shoulders, and I always have pain here. I rarely have low back pain or mid back pain. It's always here, especially like right here. And it was especially worse at the symposium. And then when I went to Kern County, because I was lugging a bunch of heavy luggage. I'm a tarot reader, so even if I'm traveling on business, I'm traveling with stones and books and tarot decks and things that I'm going to play with in my hotel room when I go in for the evening. So my back was killing me. I was wearing this ring, and I think I also caught some kind of bug. I don't know if I caught the main virus that's going around or not, but I was feeling very ill, but it was very short-lived. It was like, it wasn't full on. And I really, after consulting the guidebook on this stone, I really think I was called to get it for a specific purpose, for the purpose of helping I have virtually no neck pain now, but that's because I haven't been, lugging my travel backpack every day on the on the commuter train. That's because I have not been traveling and carrying heavy luggage. And so it got me to thinking about how I need to start taking better care of my spine. And I hadn't been taking care of it for years and decades. And so now I feel good. I use my trigger point stick, which was on one of my favorites videos, sometime back. Anyways, trigger point stick. Amazing tool. I use that. My husband massaged me a bit since I can't go pay for a massage. I have to get it where I can. And so yeah. So I feel so good. I feel so loose and relaxed and no neck pain whatsoever, which is unheard of. And I don't know. It's literally in my crystal healing book, or not crystal healing book, but my book that identifies the different stones and their healing properties, it literally said that it is good for releasing muscle tension in the neck. And I have none, and I'm prone to it. All right, now we are just going to talk briefly about books, and then we are going to move into the beloved decks, right? Because I'm going on and on. The only book, I'm just going to say, I want to get back to reading for pleasure, but it's been a crazy full tilt, like, month for me. Like, it's been super busy, and it's been busy for everyone, I'm sure, but I haven't had much time to read for pleasure. Or, I won't say pleasure, that's not right. What I mean by, I haven't had much time to read fiction, or a memoir, or poetry. That, for me, would be reading purely for pleasure. This is also reading for pleasure for me too. I take great joy in reading books about how-to books or things like that. But I pulled this out. This is the Soulpreneurs book by Yvette Luciano, and it's published by Hay House, and the foreword is by Gabrielle Bernstein. And a couple of folks have recommended that I read Gabby's book as well. So I will grab some of her pieces, her books, so I can familiarize myself with her as well. It says, Soulpreneurs, live your purpose, lift your platform, and leap into prosperity. And I kind of rushed through this when I first bought this a year, I think, when did it just come out? A year or two ago? I got it when it came out. Let me see. What date was it published? 2018, yeah. And so I have a little side business, my tarot business, my creative business of doing creative little fun things that involve Oracle and tarot. And so I will say that this is probably more speaking to those who haven't even taken a leap yet in terms of starting a business, a heart-centered business. But it's still good for those who have already established a business, because she has some great tips in here. And I pulled this book out kind of as a work study in prep for the Northwest Tarot Symposium, to get my mind right and ready for, learning and whatnot. And then it got me just excited about my business all over again. And so I read it on the plane. I read it in the evenings when I was trying to fall asleep, or journal prompts. She has part 1 as clarity, the real reason you are here. And she goes through all these like different things about gaining clarity about your audience, about your, what you want your day to look like, your business work day to look like. Part 2 is about courage, shining in your sensitivity, expressing your creativity is some of the chapter titles. And part 3, platform, which I need to, I just, sometimes some of these books that I get, I read over and over again as a reminder, as a coach, if you will, to get me thinking about those aspects of my business. And for part 3, platform is one that I'm really into. Is leading with love and light, income offerings and operations, your beautiful brand, embracing the digital world, PR, media, and positive influencers, writing and speaking with the world. And so I'm going to be working with this book quite a bit. It will probably be one of the texts that I use for some of the courses that I'll be creating. It'll be one of the texts that we consult. So I really enjoy it. I think it's a great book, and it serves its purpose in my life. So there. So now we are to that part. We are at the Oracle and Tarot decks phase of the month. All right, so got lots to chat about here, and for a variety of reasons. I won't go through all the cards like I do every month. I try not to go through all the cards because I have an unboxing probably related to a particular deck. So you can always, do a search in my channel. There's like a search box that each channel has. You can just type in your chosen deck. You can even do it on my website too. You can search by the name of a deck, or you can just search decks as the tag in my website. And you can see unboxings. I have tons. So yeah. Let's talk Oracle. The first Oracle deck I want to talk about is the Empathic Oracle by Steve Wilson and Michelle Matusas. And this is produced by Red Feather, a subsidiary of Schiffer. And it opens up like this, which I appreciate. I love this deck. I tend to forget about it because it was in one of my cabinets that I keep my tarot decks in, that I hadn't. Again, I have decks now everywhere. And this one I forgot I had, but it's got gold gilding, and it's like a matte, kind of, not totally matte, but it's, I'm trying to think what reminds you of this stock. But I love the size. I love a smaller Oracle deck in terms of handling for a number of reasons. It's just easier on the hands. Here's the back. Easier on the hands. And when you're doing larger spreads with tarot and Oracle like I do, you don't want big old Oracle cards taking up the whole room when you've got tarot cards that need to be on there too. And so the artwork here, let's see, it says solar plexus chakra. Is different than what I normally gravitate towards, desert, but it works. The guidebook is great. And I've started back using this deck quite a bit this month, for readings for myself and for others. The sun. And I just have, I just love the vibe off of this deck, and non-duality, and yeah, there's the sacral chakra, third eye chakra, stuck, entanglement. Let's see, we got water, light at the end of the tunnel, like that a lot. Chameleon, manifestation of the Phoenix represented in beginnings card. Okay, look at summer, holidays, so cute. I love that card. Gates, validation. So you see, I love the keywords too. They're, you know, unique. Focus. The root chakra. Gotta let my dog in soon. He's getting very upset. Chaos. I just don't like, oh no, I don't want him by the door bothering us even further than what he would do. Oh, look at this one. Predator. Open heart. And I just really fall with this depth here. At first I was like, I'm going to sell some decks, I'm going to pare down my collection, and I really haven't pared it down at all. It's fine. I've actually been really enjoying my decks and rediscovering them and realizing, oh, I don't think I want you to go anywhere. I think I really want to keep you and play with you a little bit more. Balance. All right. Resistance. I'm not going to keep going. I could go all day with this. I really like this deck. It surprised me. Here's a little guidebook. That I would like it so much. And I do. So. Alright, next up, I'm going to put these down here because I have no room on this table. Next up that we're going to talk about is the Sacred Creators Oracle. I mentioned it before. Isn't this gorgeous? Gilding, and then I love this deck so much. I use it primarily for my business readings or when I'm wanting to be in a much more, sorry guys, oh my God, a much more creative headspace. And this does the trick for me. It's just so wonderful to use for me in my career and business readings. Now, I've used it in other types of readings, but I'm not really called to. And I know other people use them for different types of readings, and I think that's great. But it serves a specific purpose in my practice, and I love it. Where's the guidebook? Oh, it's underneath there. I'm not going to get it, but it comes in a gorgeous box. You should definitely check out my unboxing of it because it's a gorgeous deck. It really is. And it was not getting a lot of use until this month. I brought it along with me, actually, when I went to the symposium, because when I'm going to the symposium, I'm sorry for this creaky chair. I'm going to bring a new chair downstairs probably tomorrow. Switch out chairs because this one's getting on my nerves. I bring it because it gives me that inspiration that I want and need when I'm in a place with other, tarot readers, and we're all in a very big and deep creative bubble together. And so this deck is wonderful to do those kind of readings. And now that I have it in this little pouch, I'm now more likely to use it and read it and touch it and keep it around because it was in the box. I do keep a lot of my decks still in their original boxes, but the downside to that is I don't always grab it off the shelf and keep it near me when I'm wanting to use it. So now the Sacred Creators gets used quite a bit again. Up a little spill with the Sacred Creators Oracle. Okay, so next up, we're going to talk about the Dear Heart Oracle. I have to say, I always use this deck, but as I always say, every time I bring it out, I don't want to talk about it over and over and over again where people are like, really? Do you really love it that much? I do. It is so loved and well worn. Here's the second edition backing. And then let me see. First, I combined both the first and the second edition. Here's the first edition. And there's no guidebook. It is just a sweet, sweet deck that I use all the time still. I still do. It's my overall overarching energies reader that I do when I'm opening up a reading. I love the art. I love the messages. It was one of the first oracles that I read with intuitively and just was like hooked to reading intuitively after that. And I love it. And the deck creator kindly sent over a copy of the second edition that she was coming out with because she knew how much I love the first edition. And I'm happy to report I am still very much using this deck. And I use both of them combined together. So, yeah, the Dear Heart Oracle. I think you can still get the second edition. I'm not sure if you can get the first. I don't know. I apologize for not knowing, but I thought you guys should know I still love this deck. I still use it. It's still near and dear to my heart. It's the handful of decks that I would be very sad if it wasn't in my collection. All right. So next up is we have the Dear Heart Oracle. Oh, okay. The next one I'm going to talk about. Let's see. How did I do that? Did I go? I skipped one. Oh, I should just mention it because I don't want to go too much out of order. I keep everything written down and in a particular order so that when I'm writing out the post for my website to announce this favorites video, or when I'm doing the description box, it's easy for me. So I try to follow it. I want to just do a quick mention, and there it is. You guys are going to hear a lot more about this deck. And I'm not going to even do a full on. Here's the card. Here's my card of the week. Clean Your Space. And this is from the Sacred Self-Care Oracle by Jill Pyle and illustrations by Tatiana Vindikina. It's a 55 card deck and guidebook produced by Hay House. I've just put out an unboxing. You can check it out. I've been using this deck like crazy though ever since it came out. It was released. I pre-ordered it. Connect with Fire. I pre-ordered this deck, and ever since it's come into the collection, I've been using it like mad, and I'm going to include it in my next giveaway because I think others should experience the goodness that it is. Beauty Ritual. Like that a lot. Uh-oh. I keep dropping cards all over the place. I'm going to pick those up. So I'm not going to go full on. Look at the inside of the box. I'm not going to go full on into a... make sure I'm missing any cards. Flip through of this deck because you're going to get to see many more flip throughs of this deck with the unboxing. I did a tarot combos video with it. I'm going to include it in the giveaway video, and you're probably just going to see it in future favorites because I love this. I love it so much. So, yeah. Okay, now we can move back into the order in which we're going. So that's one deck that's going to be in the giveaway. And then the other Oracle deck is the one that I created. I created two of these, or I had two copies created with the Make Your Playing Cards site. And that's because I was like, I just want a backup, but I don't really need a backup. You know, it's not that serious. And I'm using this deck as, here's the backs. I'm using this deck as my inspiration for the guidebook that I'm creating. And then I've got to figure out how I'm going to get artwork for it. Because I'm a writer at heart. If anyone knows me, you know that writing has been a part of my world since I was a little girl. I mean, it just is. So, oh, my husband's sneezing. So I created this for a couple of reasons. This deck, I don't really have an official name other than it's my very own oracle, or my very own love oracle. And I have an acronym for short, which is the MVOLO. And get to know each other. I just got some stock photos and I created this deck in like a weekend. Time to Retreat. I love that one. Because I wanted a more modern day love oracle, and not just romantic love, just love in general. I wanted a more modern day one than the Romance Angels one that I had. The Romance Angels one is a great love oracle. Don't get me wrong. But a lot of my decks are not that art style. They're more modern. And so I wanted something that complemented that. Open mind equals open heart. What I didn't bargain for was that I ended up having a profound connection with this oracle. And I consult it now for many different types of readings, not just love. And it's the guide words that are in this are my inspiration for the guidebook that I'm writing for it. So the keywords and the images to me came first. And so I'm going to either create the artwork myself or commission an artist or come up with another way of getting the art for the cards. But the keywords, for the most part, are there. And the guidebook is slowly but surely coming along. And so this will also be in the giveaway but the caveat is whoever wins this particular deck, there's going to be two decks that are going into the giveaway. It's going to be the Sacred Self-Care Oracle for one. The other one is this one. whoever wins this one will have to also be okay with me periodically just asking, how are you getting along with it? You know, with this deck, what meanings are you typically associating with some of the cards when you are using it? And then just kind of playing with that and seeing what they come up with, and it really deepening and enriching the guidebooks, you know, language with what whoever gets this the second copy. The second copy is sealed. It's in its little tuck box. I didn't unwrap it or what have you because I've been using this one. What I'm worried about though is I wanted to send a copy to the artist. Whoever I decide to create the artwork, I wanted to send them a copy, and I only have 2 copies of this. I'm not going to stress too much about it because I can always print another copy off Make Your Playing Cards, or at worst just have them look at my account and kind of my Make Playing Cards account and look at the images. I'm not willing to give up my only copy of this deck because I actively use it in my client readings. But it's another one of those decks like the Dear Heart Oracle I talked about before that I use. Oh, don't want to mess with this mic too much. Shoot. Sorry, guys. I hate when I wear it because it just ends up moving all around. Let me see if I can move it. Like up here. Sorry for the mic noise. But I would bore you to tears talking about this deck every single month in my favorites. But the truth is, I created it. I love it. It's fun for me to use. It just reads easily for me because I created it. I encourage people to explore just creating a deck, even with stock images, because you're not selling it. It's not harming anything or anyone. And it's the basis for my inspiration for the deck, the Oracle deck that I am creating. So, yeah. That is my lovely MVOLO Oracle. Okay, so finally, last Oracle to talk about. This is going to be it's probably going to be my longest favorites, I think. Honestly, I don't think April's going to be this long. It's got a lot to talk about. And then Healers of the Earth. Here's the guidebook. This deck is by Mandy Peterson. And I was using this deck at the beginning of beginning of March. I love that. And then I heavily started using it since we've been going through this pandemic. And I know a lot of people have as well. It's such a gorgeous deck. I'm a huge fan of Oracle decks that are like more towards the traditional tarot size. I just love the way it feels in my hands. I know that this deck comes also in a trimmed version. I missed out on that, and I probably would have been inclined to get it, but this is just fine. And I could trim this too if I really wanted to, but because you can totally trim it. But I'm not going to right now. I'm kind of lazy when it comes to deck mods. I promised a viewer to show how I simply edge decks. It's really super easy. But that's about the extent of modification I've done because I'm too scared to cut my decks. I love that one. This was Feng Shui Butterfly. Isn't that cute? And I have an unboxing of this gorgeous deck. It is gilded in silver, shiny silver. And because it's indie, I have that minimal fading of the gilding. It's gorgeous. And it shuffles like a dream. And okay, so I do Facebook Lives from time to time. And I pulled from this deck yesterday. It's like 70 some odd cards. I can tell you. Let's see, where is it? 72 cards. Uh-oh. Sorry, my alarm's going off. 72 cards. And I don't know. 72 cards. And it is not easy to come across the same card again. And the card that kept coming up that night, like twice, and I shuffled this bad boy really good. It was the Resilience card. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it. Oh my gosh, I got a Quarantine card in here. Retreat, Seclusion, and Inward Journey. Ironically, this one didn't come up. Isn't that so poetic and ironic? The Resilience card. It came up twice during my Facebook Live with my folks who know of me and my world, Abundant Life Tarot, on my Facebook page, Abundant Life Tarot. And then I was working with this deck this morning, and guess what came up again? Resilience. I was trying to find it. And I think it's just a constant reminder that we are resilient and we're going to get through this. This is not going to tear us down. We're going to make it through. I can't find it. It's a lot of cards here. Oh well. It's a gorgeous deck. So gorgeous. Oh, there it is. Toughness, endurance, perseverance is the sub keywords there. And I just really enjoy this deck. I've been using it again nonstop for both client readings and readings mainly for myself. All right, now let's move on to tarot. Last but not least, tarot. So let's see. For tarot, let's talk about the first one, which is the Modern Witch Tarot. And this deck is by Lisa Sterle. And the publisher it says Sterling Ethos. But I thought it was also created by the same folks who created the Luna Soul Tarot, which is by Liminal? I don't know. Anyways, I don't know. But I really, really love this deck. It is definitely it's a Rider-Waite-Smith clone of sorts. And it's reversible. And it's kind of shiny and glossy, thicker cardstock, but not impossible to shuffle. I think I do have to shuffle them in two parts, but that's not a big deal. Here's the Five of Cups. Kind of reminds me of home with the bridge in the background there. And Eight of Cups. I pull this out for client readings from time to time, especially for some of my younger clients. King of Pentacles. Such a fun deck. It really is. Knight of Cups. Oh, here's Six of Cups. Okay. I'm not going to keep going, but it's a great deck. It's here's the guidebook, little actual like hard. Isn't that nice? Hardback. Nice box, although I'm not 100% a fan of this box. Like, I love that it's hard and sturdy, and when your deck is in there, it's in, it's safe and protected, it's solid, but it just slides out like this, which I don't know. Oh yeah, it says Liminal 11. I knew. So Sterling Ethos must be a subsidiary of Liminal 11 or vice versa. But I also have a lovely connection with the Luna Soul Tarot. And it didn't surprise me that I love the Modern Witch as much as I do. And I've been using it quite a bit. It feels very springtime to me for some reason. So I've been using it quite a bit. And enjoying it immensely. The next tarot deck we're going to talk about is the White Sage Tarot. It's in a 10. I don't have the indie version that is not in a 10, but that's okay. This works just great. Love the little white book that US Games has for it. It's a proper little white book, and this is a cool deck. I love this deck so much. Here's the backs. I only have 2 tarot decks in the 10. That the first one for the longest time was Sun and Moon Tarot. Love that deck to pieces, but I haven't been using it as much because I'll throw this one now. I'll kind of alternate, and this one kind of lingered in a little bit longer in my bag, my purse or backpack that I go about town every day with. Here's the Four of Wands. And so I love the color palette. Here's the Queen of Cups. I'm not really solely sold on primarily animal decks, but this one I'll make an exception for. And just such a gorgeous deck. It goes with many of my Oracle decks that I have in my collection. And it's in a tin, so it makes it just easy to grab and protect in my bag. I usually carry backpacks on my day-to-day. Like I either have a cute little leather backpack or I have my heavy-duty, I'm commuting all over the place backpack, and this one goes in that. Because you just never know when you might need to do a tarot reading. You know, here's the Hermit. Look at that. A sloth. And then finally, Five of Cups. Love this deck so flippin' much. Did it come with me? I don't think I took any pocket decks to the Northwest Tarot Symposium. I don't think. Don't think. Okay, next up, we're just going to kind of mention, because I've talked about this also ad nauseum, but again, I think there's some value in knowing that a tarot reader has been using a particular deck over and over again, because then you know, like, this is a deck that you probably want to take some notice to if you can get your hands on, because obviously this person is having a real deal connection with it, and that would be the Slow Tarot by Lacie, Bryant. Love this deck. I took this deck. This was my main workhorse deck at the Northwest Tarot Symposium when I'm in my workshops, in my classes. This is the deck that I would pull out to use when they were like, okay, everyone, pull out your decks. How lovely is that to be in a place where you're in a student kind of environment, and they're like, as opposed to pull out your books, pull out your pens or whatever, they say pull out your decks. Everybody happily does it, and everybody happily shuffles, and the sound is just luxurious. Oh my goodness. This deck I've talked so much about, so I'm not, here's Five of Cups. I'm not gonna bore you with so much detail about it, because you can check out my unboxings, you could just probably do a search across my channel and see how many times I've talked about it. I thought it would be one that I would only primarily use in the fall, but that's not the case. Here's the backs too, by the way. That's not the case. I've been using this deck all the time. All the time. I know, Bishy, I'm going to get you. Just know you would be just kind of raising holy hell. I just know already. Here's the Emperor. Okay. Like I said, this video is already super long, so, and I've talked about the Slow Tarot so much. It doesn't have, this is the little book I have for the meanings. It does the trick. If you know tarot, you can get along fine without a guidebook with this deck, because the artwork is fully illustrated. It's gorgeous. It's just gorgeous. So I have to, from time to time, every other month, talk about it. Okay, let's see. Next up is the Chrysalis Tarot right here, which may surprise people that I even have it in my collection, or that it's even a favorite. But it always comes out for me now in the warmer months, or as I'm entering the warmer months like spring. It is such a cool deck. It gave me a reading, or not it gave me. I went to a professional reader. Was it a year or two ago now? I can't remember. And she asked me which deck I wanted her to use. And I said, okay, use this one. Use the Chrysalis. And she did. It's reversible. It's US Games. And the reading that she gave me was so accurate and so on point and so, I mean, obviously that speaks to the kind of reader she was, but the deck just, I was like, I have to have it. Once the reading was over, and I was like, okay, thank you for the lovely reading. Now I'm going to go out to the main part because there's the reading area where we get our readings. And then there's the store part, and I went and bought it. I was like, I need this. So 2 of mirrors, like 2 of cups. It has a gorgeous little guidebook that comes with it, which I bought. No, it doesn't come with. The white book comes with it, but I bought the Chrysalis. I think there's a more expanded guidebook for it. This is a really cool deck, and I may end up doing it. The next deck that I'm going to do for my tarot study is not this one, but I think maybe in the future, this may go on the list of ones that I explore. That's the Tower. That I explore for my tarot study group. I'm going to make a list and maybe do a survey of what people want to dive into. And this is definitely going to be one of the decks that I put on the list, and I got to make a mental note of that. So that is the Chrysalis. I love this deck so much. It surprised me how much I loved it. And every time I do a reading with it for myself, I don't usually use it for readings for clients. It's usually readings for myself. I enjoy it so much. And it's the readings, they resonate deeply with me. And I'm now, as I'm thinking about it, I want to go back to that tarot reader and see what else she's got to say. Because what she said was she saw me leaving my insurance career. And I had a reading even like a couple of years prior to that reading. And that reading saw me, it also the career, like it was so accurate. But I don't think the reader used this deck, but the more recent tarot reading I got about my career, my insurance career, if you will, with this deck was what she used, and she was spot on, man. She was spot on. Couldn't believe it. All right, now we're almost done, guys. Thank you for hanging. If you hung in this long, man, I should just send you a prize right now. Got 2 more decks to talk about. And the next one is the Hip Chick Tarot. I just recently did a tarot combos with these 2 decks. They play very well together. In fact, I've been doing readings for myself with them, and I've just been so pleasantly surprised. I'll be honest, I hadn't been using this deck that much. I don't really use it at all for client readings. Every now and then I might use it for, like, if my kids had their friends come over, I might use it for them. But it really works well when we're talking about healing. We're talking about doing some soul work on ourselves. It's a really lovely tarot deck. And it's also a red feather deck, and the quality is superb. There's the backs. It's a fun deck. It's pretty thick, but it's easy to shuffle for the most part, and it's like a matte finish. That's 8 of Create. Now I have to say there's no male figures in here, but if you can get over that, this is an awesome deck. Ace of Earth. It really is. Here's 5 of Earth. It's a good reader, an easy reader for those who are seeking that. But it also complements really well with my sacred self-care. And I'm thrilled because I was struggling trying to find a good oracle deck that would go with this deck. I'm always looking for pairings, and I finally found a match. And it's a match made in heaven. 8 of Feel. That's your 8 of Cups. I'm just getting happy looking at this deck. Teen of Think. 3 of Earth. Let's see. The Sun. In terms of race and body shapes, there's a lot of diversity there. I will say that. The Star. Love the Star. So maybe you forgot about this deck, and should be just a nice reminder for you to go pull it off your shelf for Create. Okay. Oh, one more. Look at 6 of Earth. Isn't that fun? It's getting me all inspired for summer. It's not even, we just cracked spring out here, you know. But yeah, I really am enjoying the Hip Chick Tarot, and I'm glad I got it in my collection. Alrighty, what else? What else? Last one, actually. Literally, you guys are going to probably have to break this up. I have to sometimes watch my peeps in like bits. So you guys probably have to do the same with this video. Final deck is the New Era Elements by Eleanor Piper, PhD. Eleanor F. Piper, PhD. This is another one of my decks that I'm so happy I have in my collection. Another U.S. Games. U.S. Games is on fire. No, I'm just kidding. There's the guidebook. And let's just look at some of these. Mother of Water. The Moon. I love the sepia color. It's a great reader. I usually use my this is what I usually, not all the time, but sometimes, most times, typically use for my Rebel Soul energetic readings that I do. Mother of Earth. And here's the Death card. And the readings are always on point. I really enjoy working with this deck. I don't always use it for client readings. There are some cards in there that may be a little, it may cause some, you know, like it may make clients uncomfortable. For example, the Tower. This may make some of my clients uncomfortable. Not so much the Fool. I mean, how can you be mad at the Fool? But there is some, let me see. I don't know if, here's 9 of Earth. I like that one. I don't know. Here's 4 of Fire. The Magician. I was going to try and find it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it easily. Here's the Sun. But here's the Devil. Here's one of the cards that's like, whoa. Not everyone's going to be able to receive this card very well if they got it in a reading. So I don't tend to use this deck for client readings. But for like the purposes of like my YouTube readings or any other kind of readings I'm doing online or readings for myself, it's, you know, game on. 7 of Air. This one's interesting. This one's pretending like it's a bird, like a baby bird, and then the mother's too confused to figure it out. I just realized that. That's so cool. Big old baby bird. That's not a baby bird. Here's the Empress. And then here's 3 of Air. Another card that would be like, whoa, too much for some people. But I love it, you know. But that's just me. Super diverse. Father of Air. I mean, an amazing deck. Here's the backs. Thoth-based, or Thoth-based. And that may or may not suit your fancy. But I'm a Rider-Waite-Smith kind of gal. And I still really enjoy this deck. Very much so. It actually was what, you know, just really allowed me to appreciate the other systems out there that's beyond Rider-Waite-Smith. You know what I'm saying? All right, guys, and that's it. That's it for March favorites. I want to thank you all for hanging in there with me and sticking it out, watching all of the things that I've been up on and what I've been into this month. It's definitely had a lot of highs and lows. But you know what? We're here. We are together and we can get through anything. We are a resilient species, aren't we now? And so, you know, I know it's trying. I know it's tough. My heart is with you. I send you all my genuine, heartfelt love during this time. And I know it's not easy, and so I'm hoping that my videos find you well. And if not, I hope it brings a little bit of happiness and a little bit of peace. And I just thank you for being a bright spot in my world, each and every one of you. Each of you who leave comments, each of you who like my videos, each of you who drop a line and take the time to email me, the ones who participate in the little wacky things I got going on. Each and every one of you matter. Each and every one of you, I thank for making my world better. So, oh my goodness. Thank you again. Much love, many blessings to each and every one of you. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.